Hello and welcome to a gameplay for all seasons. Now today I want to talk to you about Patronuses. Now I'm publishing this a day or so before the Game Awards, so let me say one or two things about that very quickly. So we might get something on Hogwarts Legacy at the Game Awards, but we're kind of just have to wait and see. I mean, if we do, one thing I'd certainly like to see confirmed is that we're going to have Patronuses in the game. It's hard to believe we wouldn't, but it'd be great to see in some sort of trailer or whatever they're going to show us a shot of a Patronus so we know it's definitely there. Now, if we don't get something at the Game Awards, I wouldn't freak out or fret about it too much. It wouldn't be the first false dawn we've had where we expected something and not got it. I'm sure we will get something in the distant future, fingers crossed, hopefully. Whatever happens, it's potentially an imminently exciting time for Hogwarts Legacy, so I would recommend you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on the latest news or anything that happens very shortly. So back to Patronuses. So these are the advanced magic used to shield you from a Dementor. Harry's, of course, was that of a stag, as was his dad's. But how many Patronuses are actually out there? Now, there are just below 150 on some counts of how many Patronuses there are. Most are normal, non-magic animals, though there are some exceptions, such as you have the somewhat rare Thestral and Hippogriff. And some of the most common are actually varieties of cats. You remember that McGonagall and Umbridge both had a cat Patronus, which is interesting because personality-wise, they are both very different, obviously. So the fact they end up with a similar Patronus is interesting. But you also have dogs such as Ron's Jack Russell Terrier, which for some reason most people don't realise that was Ron's Patronus, but it was. So in fact, for anyone who says that dogs are not particularly featured in the Wizarding world, well, they certainly are for Patronuses. You get Huskies, Mastiffs, St. Bernards. The list kind of goes on. There's a lot of them in there. So they are definitely featured quite a lot in the Wizarding world if you know where to look. But of course, like I say, there's just below 150, but if the game wanted to throw in some more animals, I'm pretty sure they could do that. And the importance here is there is a large variety of animals here, which gives, the more variety you get, the more options you have, to me gives you and the developers more creative freedom to go ahead and do something interesting with it. Now, what could they do and how could they assign you a Patronus? Well, they could randomly assign you a Patronus, which to me feels a bit lazy, so hopefully they don't do that, but who knows. They could ask you a bunch of questions and assign you one based on that, which in first impressions could sound like it might be fun. But I do feel that this game could potentially over-quiz you, so it could get a bit samey. Now, the reason I say that is because I feel a quiz is more likely with how you're going to get sorted into your house, unless, of course, they skip the sorting ceremony altogether and just simply let you pick somewhere. But given what they told us ages ago about the sorting ceremony, they're going to give us more information, it does make it sound like they're going to do something more than that. And even if they did simply let you pick a house, for things like the choice of a wand, you could easily have a quiz for that, so you get your length, your wood type, and your core. So rather, what I think the best way for them to integrate Patronuses into the game, and I'll just say quickly, if you're enjoying this video, do hit the like button. I personally would strongly appreciate that if you so wish. So the best way that I think you should get assigned a Patronus is to do it based more on your playstyle and other choices you've made in the game up to that point. Now, the reason I say this goes back to the point I mentioned before, and that is the fact that a Patronus are advanced magic. So you shouldn't need to get one straight away, like you're going to have to for a wand or for the house sorting. So if you are going to have something like a quiz, which hasn't given you the opportunity to play a large enough portion of the game so it understands your play style, so it has to do something different, I feel for the Patronus, do it a little bit later, give you lots of choices that aren't even obviously related to a Patronus, and do it based on how you've played the game and how you've evolved your character to that point.